In a small but cozy apartment on the outskirts of Boston, Dr. Amelia Hayes, a talented cardiac surgeon, was submerged in her own darkness. The rare morning sun peeked through the window, but it wasn't enough to dispel the gloomy fog in her soul. It had been 2 years since that fateful day, the day a traffic accident claimed the lives of her husband, David, and their beloved 5-year-old daughter, Lily. The immense pain had transformed a vibrant woman, passionate about her profession, into a ghostly shadow, trapped in a spiral of severe depression. Amelia still went to work, still performed complex surgeries with her skillful hands and sharp mind, but deep inside she felt empty. Her smile had vanished, and her once sparkling blue eyes were now just a blank void. Every morning was a battle to wake up, every night a struggle with painful memories. Her apartment, once filled with laughter and the smell of baked goods, was now eerily silent. Family photos were still there, on her nightstand, on her desk, but Amelia dared not look directly at them. Each glance twisted her heart, and invisible tears flowed inward. She had tried seeking help from therapists, but every treatment seemed ineffective. She knew she needed to break free, but her body and mind felt heavy, unable to lift herself from the swamp of despair. Friends and colleagues worried about her, but they didn't know what to do. Amelia had built an invisible wall around herself, separating her from the outside world. One spring afternoon, as new buds began to unfurl on bare branches, a phone call broke the silence in Amelia's apartment. It was Uncle Robert, her only remaining paternal uncle, a warm and humorous man. His voice was full of joy and excitement. "Amelia, my dear, I'm getting married. Can you believe it? After all these years, I've finally found the love of my life." Amelia forced a strained smile. "Congratulations, Uncle Robert. I'm very happy for you. And you must come to the wedding," Uncle Robert continued, oblivious to the indifference in her tone. "The wedding will be held at an old castle in Vermont. I'm sure you'll love it there. It's beautiful, very peaceful. I wanted you to be the first to know." An old castle in Vermont. Amelia pictured moss-covered stone walls, towering spires, and vast gardens. A distant place, isolated from the noisy world. Perhaps that's what she needed, a change. An opportunity to breathe different air, if only for a few days. "I'll try to arrange it, Uncle," Amelia said, her voice still hesitant. "Not try, but you must come," Uncle Robert insisted. "I've already booked a room for you. You can't refuse me." Amelia sighed. Uncle Robert was always the one who could sway her, no matter how much she tried to resist. Perhaps this was a sign, an invitation from life, from the outside world for her to step out of her shell. A few weeks later, Amelia packed her bags. She chose simple clothes in muted colors, nothing striking. The black dress she usually wore to parties now lay dormant in her closet. She no longer cared about her appearance. All she wanted was to fulfill her duty, attend Uncle Robert's wedding, and then return to her familiar solitude. The trip to Vermont was a long journey. As her rental car left the busy highways, Amelia began to feel a change in the air. Rolling green hills appeared before her eyes. Tall maple trees stretched towards the sky, and quaint wooden houses dotted the roadside. The majestic and peaceful natural scenery gradually seeped into her mind, soothing some of her emotional wounds. Finally, the car turned onto a small dirt road leading to an ancient stone gate. Beyond the gate was a winding cobblestone path, flanked by ancient trees. And then Amelia saw it. Blackwood Castle. It stood majestically on a gentle hill, grand and splendid. Its moss-covered gray stone walls, towering spires reaching for the blue sky, and ancient arched windows. Surrounding the castle were vast, meticulously cared-for gardens, with lush green lawns and blooming flower beds. Despite its ancient beauty, the castle was not gloomy or cold. On the contrary, it exuded a serene, peaceful beauty, like a witness to time, having seen countless ups and downs of history. Amelia parked the car and stepped out. The fresh, cool mountain air filled her lungs, carrying the scent of earth, plants, and wildflowers. She took a deep breath, feeling a rare sense of relief. Perhaps this place wouldn't be as bad as she thought. As Amelia stepped into the main hall of Blackwood Castle, she was immediately overwhelmed by its beauty and splendor. Soaring ceilings with sparkling crystal chandeliers, walls adorned with antique paintings and exquisitely woven tapestries. A grand oak staircase spiraled up to the upper floor, creating a classic and elegant aesthetic. Uncle Robert was already waiting in the hall, a radiant smile on his face. He hugged Amelia tightly, his kind eyes showing concern as he noticed the weariness on his niece's face. "Amelia, you're here. I'm so glad." "Hello, Uncle Robert," Amelia said softly, trying to return his smile. "Let me introduce you," Uncle Robert said, pulling Amelia towards a beautiful woman with shimmering silver hair and sparkling eyes full of joy. "This is Eleanor, my fiancée, and Eleanor, this is Amelia. My niece." Eleanor smiled warmly, taking Amelia's hand. "It's lovely to meet you, Amelia. Uncle Robert has told me so much about you." Amelia felt a little awkward at Eleanor's friendliness. She was used to people keeping their distance, as if afraid to touch her emotional wounds. But Eleanor was different. She exuded a sense of peace and understanding that made Amelia feel a little more comfortable. "And this is the owner of the castle," Eleanor said, turning to a man standing nearby. He had salt and pepper hair, deep-set eyes, and a gentle smile. "This is Mr. Arthur Sterling." Arthur Sterling stepped forward, extending his hand. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Dr. Hayes. Welcome to Blackwood." Amelia shook his hand. His hand was warm and firm. His eyes looked at her with genuine concern, not the curiosity or pity she often saw. A strange feeling crept into her heart. "Uncle Robert has told me about you," Arthur said, his voice deep and warm. "I'm so sorry for what happened to you." Amelia nodded slightly, saying nothing. She didn't want to talk about her pain. "Please make yourself at home," Arthur continued. "If you need anything at all, don't hesitate to let me know." Afterward, Uncle Robert and Eleanor took Amelia on a tour of the castle. They walked through grand rooms, long corridors with antique paintings, gleaming suits of armor, and valuable book collections. Every corner of the castle held a story, a mark of time. Amelia was particularly impressed with the library. It was a large room with towering bookshelves filled with old books. The scent of old paper and ink wafted through the air, creating a peaceful and intellectual space. She could spend all day here, reading and forgetting all her worries. They also visited the garden. It was a vast garden, divided into various sections, with winding stone paths, vibrant climbing rose trellises, and lush ancient trees. A clear pond lay in the center of the garden, with blooming water lilies and goldfish swimming playfully. The air was fresh and cool, and the chirping of birds created a gentle symphony. Amelia felt a sense of peace as she walked through the garden. She took deep breaths, feeling the life surging around her. It had been a long time since she had felt this way. That evening, a small party was held to welcome the guests. Amelia tried to blend in, but she still felt out of place in the crowd. She sat alone in a corner of the room, sipping her wine and observing everyone. Arthur Sterling approached her, holding 2 glasses of wine. "Would you like a glass, Dr. Hayes?" Amelia looked up. "Thank you, Mr. Sterling." She took the glass. "You seem a little uncomfortable," Arthur said, his tone gentle. I'm not used to crowded places," Amelia lied. The truth was, she wasn't used to feeling happy, to being joyful. "I understand," Arthur said. "I'm the same way. I prefer quiet." They were silent for a moment. Amelia was surprised that Arthur didn't ask more about her condition, didn't try to comfort or advise her. He simply was there, sharing the quiet with her. "This castle is beautiful," Amelia said, breaking the silence. "Thank you," Arthur said. "It has been in my family for generations. My wife loved this place very much." Amelia looked at him. There was a fleeting sadness in his eyes when he mentioned his wife. She realized that Arthur was also a man carrying emotional wounds. "How long have you been a widower?" Amelia asked, not knowing why she asked that question. 10 years, Arthur said. "She passed away from cancer. She was a wonderful woman." Amelia nodded. She understood that feeling of loss. The pain was still there, no matter how much time passed. "Would you like to take a walk?" Arthur asked. "The air outside is very pleasant." Amelia hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Yes, I would." They went outside, walking in the garden under the moonlight. The air was fresh and cool, and the crickets chirped in the night. The moonlight illuminated the stone paths and trees, creating a magical scene. "Do you know Lily of the Valley?" Arthur asked, pointing to a small bush with delicate bell-shaped white flowers. "My wife loved these flowers. She said they symbolize the return of happiness." Amelia looked at the small, pure white flowers. They were so beautiful and pristine. "I've never noticed them," she said. "Life has many beautiful things that we often overlook," Arthur said, "especially when we are immersed in sorrow." Amelia was silent. She knew he was right. She had missed too much in the past 2 years. They continued their walk, talking about the small things in life. Arthur told her about the castle, its history, and the gardens he personally cared for. He spoke of his children, a daughter in college, and a son working in New York. His voice was full of love and pride. Amelia felt a strange connection with Arthur. He didn't try to force her to open up, but his presence, his understanding, made her feel safer. For the first time in many years, Amelia felt a tiny spark of hope ignite in her heart. The following days at Blackwood Castle passed gently. Amelia spent most of her time in the library, reading or sitting by the window, gazing at the view outside. She also often walked in the garden, breathing in the fresh air and admiring the flowers. Arthur Sterling often appeared, neither too close nor too distant. He would often bring her a hot cup of tea or a new book. He didn't say much, simply sat beside her, sharing the quiet. His presence brought Amelia a sense of peace she hadn't felt in a long time. One morning, as Amelia was reading in the library, Arthur approached her. "Would you like to come with me to town, Dr. Hayes? I need to buy a few things for the wedding." Amelia looked up. She hadn't left the castle since she arrived. "Yes, I would." The small town nestled at the foot of the mountain with its ancient cobblestone streets, quaint little shops, and cozy wooden houses. The atmosphere here was so different from bustling Boston. Everyone was friendly, greeting each other with warm smiles. Arthur took Amelia to an antique shop. It was a small shop, filled with old but valuable items. Amelia enjoyed looking at the antique clocks, small statues, and old jewelry. "Do you like antiques?" Arthur asked. "Yes, I do," Amelia said. "Each item has its own story." "Indeed," Arthur said, "just like people." They continued their walk, visiting a small bakery with the fragrant smell of freshly baked bread, a flower shop with vibrant fresh flowers, and a cozy little cafe. Arthur bought a bouquet of white lily of the valley and a small sweet pastry. "This bouquet is for Eleanor," Arthur said. "She loves Lily of the Valley." Amelia smiled. She felt a warmth spread through her heart as she saw Arthur's thoughtfulness towards Eleanor. When they returned to the castle, Amelia felt her mood had improved significantly. She no longer felt heavy or burdened. The first rays of hope had begun to penetrate her soul. That night, Amelia couldn't sleep. She got out of bed and walked to the window. The moonlight was still there, illuminating the garden. She saw Arthur sitting on a stone bench, gazing up at the starry sky. Amelia hesitated for a moment, then stepped outside. "Mr. Sterling?" Arthur turned around. "Dr. Hayes, you're not asleep yet?" "I couldn't sleep," Amelia said. I wanted to talk to you for a bit." Arthur nodded, inviting her to sit beside him. "I want to thank you," Amelia said, "for having me here, and for talking to me." "It's nothing," Arthur said. "You are my guest." I've been through a very difficult time," Amelia said, her voice catching. "I lost everything. My husband and my daughter." Arthur remained silent, listening to her. "I feel like I'm slowly dying," Amelia continued. "I don't know what to do. I don't know how to go on living." "I understand that feeling," Arthur said. "I've been through it too. The pain of loss is terrible, but you have to believe that time heals all wounds." "But I don't know if I can heal," Amelia said, tears beginning to stream down her cheeks. Arthur gently placed his hand on her shoulder. "You will. You are a strong woman. You've overcome so much. You will overcome this too." Amelia looked at him, her eyes glistening with tears. "How did you manage to overcome it?" "I don't know," Arthur said. "I just knew I had to keep living, for my wife, for my children, and for myself." They sat there, under the moonlight, sharing their pain and hope. For the first time in many years, Amelia felt she wasn't alone. She felt there was someone who understood her, someone who could share the burden in her heart. The wedding day of Uncle Robert and Eleanor arrived. Blackwood Castle was filled with a joyful and happy atmosphere. Fresh flowers adorned every corner, twinkling lights and melodious music. Amelia wore a simple cream-colored dress, yet it exuded elegance. She had applied light makeup, and her hair was neatly styled in an updo. For the first time in many years, Amelia felt like herself again, even if only a small part. The ceremony took place in the garden, under a canopy of green trees. Uncle Robert and Eleanor exchanged their vows, their eyes filled with love and happiness. Amelia watched them, and a warm feeling spread through her heart. She was happy for Uncle Robert, and she was also happy for Eleanor. After the ceremony, a grand reception was held in the castle's main hall. Everyone was joyful, chatting and dancing. Amelia also joined in, though she was still a little shy. Arthur Sterling approached her. "You look beautiful, Dr. Hayes." Amelia blushed. "Thank you, Mr. Sterling." "Would you like to dance?" Arthur asked. Amelia hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Arthur took her hand, leading her to the dance floor. They danced gently, gracefully. Amelia felt as if she were floating. She no longer felt heavy or sad. She only felt happy. After the dance, Arthur took Amelia outside to the garden. They walked under the moonlight, talking about everything. Arthur told her about his beautiful memories with his wife, about his dreams and aspirations. Amelia also began to open up, telling him about David and Lily, about her beautiful memories with them. They talked until late into the night. When they returned to the castle, Amelia felt a great change in her heart. She had found a friend, a soulmate, someone who could understand and share everything with her. In the days that followed, Amelia and Arthur spent a lot of time together. They walked in the garden, read in the library, and chatted by the fireplace. Arthur took Amelia to visit the scenic spots in Vermont, the majestic mountains, the clear lakes, and the ancient villages. Amelia gradually regained her smile. Her eyes sparkled again. She felt that life had meaning again. Arthur had helped her find herself again, find joy in life. One evening, as they sat by the fireplace, Arthur looked at Amelia. "Amelia, I love you." Amelia looked at him, her heart pounding. She had sensed his feelings for her, but she didn't dare to believe. "I love you too, Arthur," Amelia said, tears streaming down her cheeks. They were tears of happiness, of liberation. They hugged each other tightly. Love had come to them unexpectedly, but it had healed their emotional wounds, bringing them hope and happiness. After Uncle Robert and Eleanor's wedding, Amelia decided to stay at Blackwood Castle. She felt it was her home. She and Arthur began a new life, full of love and happiness. Amelia continued her work as a doctor, but she no longer overworked herself as before. She spent more time on herself, on Arthur, and on her new family. Arthur's children, Sarah and Tom, adored Amelia. Sarah was a smart and energetic girl studying at university. Tom was a young, enthusiastic man working in New York. They were all very happy to see their father find new happiness. Amelia also loved Sarah and Tom as if they were her own children. She walked with them, chatted, cooked, and played. These warm family moments filled the void in her heart. They often organized picnics in the garden, small parties by the pool, and cozy evenings by the fireplace. Laughter and joy filled the castle. Amelia also started her own small garden with white lily of the valley flowers. She cared for them every day, and every time she saw them bloom, she remembered Arthur's words. Lily of the valley symbolizes the return of happiness. Amelia's life had completely changed. She was no longer a shadow of herself. She had found joy, hope, and love again. She had found happiness with Arthur and her new family. One autumn afternoon, as the maple leaves turned brilliant yellow, Amelia and Arthur sat on a stone bench in the garden, watching the sunset. Their hands were clasped tightly, and satisfied smiles bloomed on their faces. "I love you, Arthur," Amelia said. "I love you too, Amelia," Arthur said. They had overcome pain and loss together. They had found love and happiness together, and they knew that their love would be eternal, like the majestic mountains and clear lakes of Vermont. The story of Amelia and Arthur is a testament to the power of love, healing, and hope. It shows that no matter how difficult life may be, we can still find happiness if we believe in ourselves and believe in love. And like the pure white lily of the valley, happiness will return, more radiant and pristine than ever.